Welcome, everyone. You've reached Grandma Mo. We're covering the WNBA games on Tuesday, August 26th. Appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button for me. I'm trying to grow the channel. So, this game definitely had playoff implications. You have the Sparks trying to get into the playoffs. They are just on the outside in the 9th spot, and Phoenix is trying to secure, top. They could, if other teams lose, they could get as high as 2. Right now, I believe they're in 3rd or 4th. So, but there's games where Phoenix is playing the Aces upcoming. There could be implications there. But we'll see. It's all, the next 2 weeks are going to be really interesting because you have the top 4 or 5 teams vying for position, and then you have the bottom 4 teams, bottom in the playoff hunt, just trying to get in. You have 4 teams. You have the Fever, the Valkyries, the Storm, and the Sparks all vying for those last 3 spots. So one of those teams isn't going to make it. Unless some team goes on just loses out or wins out. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could. But we'll see. So we had these 2 teams going up against each other, and it was a battle. It was definitely a battle. Anything with Phoenix is a battle. They are very strong, and there's always collisions. There's always... I don't know. They are very, very physical. And you have to match that to be able to play against them and to try and beat them. And it's really hard to do. So the Mercury ended up getting the win, 92-84. They outscored the Sparks every quarter, but the last one when the Sparks were making their run to try and catch them, Phoenix outscored them 24-18 in the first, 24-22 in the second, and 20-17 in the third. Then the Sparks outscored them 27-24 in the fourth. So Phoenix is now 23-14, and the Sparks are 17-19. Points in the paint were even. Fast break points were close. Phoenix had a 16-point lead at one time. Everything else was really close. Turnovers were close. Phoenix shot 47% from the floor. They shot 44% from 3, which was pretty much the difference in this game. LA shot 47% from the floor, but they only shot 29% from 3. So they made 7 threes, and Phoenix made 11. So that's what 7 times 3 is 24. 11 times 3, so that's 9 points. And that is pretty much your game right there. So foul line, they both went to the foul line approximately the same amount. Let's see. Phoenix out-rebounded them, but only by a little. But Phoenix had 5 players in double figures, and the Sparks only had 3. And it drops off dramatically. I mean, Ray Burrell ended up with 9 points. But the Sparks had 3 players in double figures, and everybody else had single digits, like low single digits. They need more help from everybody else. The Sparks are, number one, they play really bad team defense. You can get a lot of layups on the Sparks. You are on an island. You can be a really good defender, but there is no help. Except on a rare occasion, there is no help. If you get by your defender, it's a clean shot to the basket. And that's the problem with the Sparks. They don't have any team defense. They score a lot of points, but they can't stop anybody. So that's been their issue. And they're playing too much hero ball, too much 1-on-5 stuff. Although there were points where, they were giving some nice passes into Hamby, or Jackson was hitting her threes, so that was good for them. But just not enough working the ball and having other people contribute. Where The opposite is true in Phoenix. Nobody scored 20 points on Phoenix, but you had 5 players in double figures. So, breaking down the scoring, you had Satou Sabally with 19 points. She had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. She was 7 for 7 from the line. She's 5 for 11 overall, 2 for 4 from 3. They'd be better off not having her handle the ball too much. She is not someone you want dribbling the ball. She has her attributes and stuff, but dribbling the ball up the court is not what you want her doing. Allyssa Thomas, she got her, 7th triple-double. She had 12 points. She had 3 steals, 5 turnovers, 15 assists, 16 rebounds. She was 5 for 9, 2 for 4 from the floor. So, Allyssa Thomas, it's like, you start asking yourself, geez, how come Allyssa Thomas keeps getting all these things, all these triple-doubles? Allyssa Thomas is uniquely positioned to do this. She's playing point guard on offense, but she guards the forwards and centers down low. I saw her on Azariah Stevens. So she's guarding the bigs when she's on defense, which gives her the rebounds. How many point guards do you see doing that? But she's playing point guard on offense, and she's initiating the offense and the passes. So she's getting the assists. You don't see forwards doing that. So she's in a unique position because she's 6'2", that she's doing that when they have very capable guards that could do that. Okoa Makani can do that. Lexi Held can do that as far as run the offense. But they have Allyssa Thomas doing that. But this is why she gets, if she was not positioned like that, if she was guarding the point guard, she wouldn't be getting all those rebounds. But she's guarding the forwards on defense. Have a look. That's why this is all happening. I mean, is it great? Yeah, it is. But it's also a unique thing. No one else does that. I mean, the only one that even comes close to that is Chelsea Gray. Because Chelsea Gray is 6 feet tall. Or she's 5'11", whatever they list her at. But you'll see her guarding forwards. So she'll get more rebounds than someone that's a point guard will on offense. So it is what it is. She's a great player, but the triple-double thing is just her unique situation. That's why she's doing it. That's why none of these other players are. If you had someone, let me pick someone on another, Brianna Stewart. If you had Brianna Stewart running New York's offense, she would get them all the time too. But she doesn't do that. They have Sabrina and they have Cloud bring up the ball and initiate the offense and make those passes. So it's just a unique thing. And it's great. I mean, taking nothing away from her, but that's why that's happening. If you're down in the paint on defense, you're going to be getting rebounds. But you don't see many point guards doing that. I mean, occasionally if a rebound comes back, or if their player happens to go in for a layup and they miss, then you get a rebound that way. But it's less likely. So looking at the scoring breakdown, you have so we already went over Satou Sabally and Allyssa Thomas. Mac had 4 points. She had a block, 2 steals, 3 rebounds. She was 2 for 4. Copper, another good game from Copper. She had 18 points. She had 3 turnovers, 3 assists, a rebound. She was 8 for 15 from the floor. She didn't hit any threes, though. Okoa Makani didn't score. She had 2 rebounds and 2 turnovers. Whitcomb, she was hitting her threes. When Phoenix is hitting their threes, they become very difficult to beat because they're good defensively. They're physical defensively. They will bruise you up. They've done it numerous times to teams. There were so many collisions in this game. There were collisions in the last game against the Valkyries. 2 people went out of the game. So that's just their style. So Whitcomb had 17 points. She had 4 steals, 2 turnovers, 4 assists, 2 rebounds. She was 5 for 9 overall. She was 5 for 7 from 3. 2 for 3 at the line. Then you had Westbeld. She hit 2 threes. Duana Bonner also hit 2 threes. She had 14 points. She had a steal, a turnover, 3 assists, and 5 rebounds. She was 5 for 13 overall. And then Lexi Held, they've reduced her playing time quite a bit. Earlier in the season, they were using her more, and she's really good. I mean, they have a pretty stacked starting 5, so it's hard to rotate them in. But, they're playing a lot of minutes. You have Thomas and Sabali playing 35 and 33 minutes. Sammy Whitcomb played 29. Copper played 28. It'd be better down the stretch if you just gave them some breaks, but so far it's working. Phoenix has been playing pretty well lately. So, and then the Sparks, they just got a team defense. They got to play better team defense. So, Rakea Jackson, she had a scary moment in the game. She was dribbling across the top of the key and she hit Satu Sabali's foot, and it looked pretty bad. But she ended up coming back in the game, so that was a good thing. Happy for her. She had 21 points. She had a block, a steal, 3 turnovers, an assist, 3 rebounds. She was 4 for 7 from 3, 7 for 11 overall, and 3 for 3 at the line. And then Hamby, very good game from Hamby. She was rock and sock 'em robots. 25 points. She had 5 steals, 3 turnovers, 2 assists, 8 rebounds. She was 7 for 9 from the line, 9 for 12 overall. Stevens, they didn't get much out of Stevens. She was kind of just hanging around. Not too effective offensively. 5 points. She had 2 turnovers, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. She was 1 for 2 from 3 and 2 for 5 overall. Kelsey Plum, 20 points. She was 7 for 14. She didn't shoot great from 3-point. She was 2 for 7 and then 4 for 4 from the line. She had 4 assists, 2 turnovers, and a steal. Alamon didn't score. She had 2 turnovers, 6 assists, 4 rebounds. She was 0 for 3 from 3 and 0 for 6 overall. Cameron Brink had 4 points, 1 block, 2 turnovers, 2 assists, 5 rebounds. She was 2 for 5 overall. Ray Burrell, she gave them quite a spark in the second half and gave them that push in the end of the game. She had 9 points. She had a block, a steal, 2 turnovers, 5 rebounds. She was 4 for 11, 0 for 3 from 3. And then Julie Van Loo came in to spell Alamon. She didn't score. She had an assist, and she took a shot, took a 3, and it missed. So that's it for this game. The season's going to get really exciting. Let me have a look at the standings. If Phoenix is currently in 4th, you have Atlanta and Vegas ahead of them. But Vegas has played 2 more games than Phoenix has. So Phoenix has a chance to catch them in the win column. But I think they're playing each other coming up here in the next few days. So that may determine, 3rd place. But, Atlanta's only 1 game ahead of them. And I think Atlanta's playing, who's Atlanta playing? Let me see here. Yeah, Atlanta's playing Vegas today. I'm doing this on Wednesday. So that could determine, if Vegas beats Atlanta, they're going to be in 2nd place, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know about the tiebreakers, but if Vegas beats them, then they have 14 losses. But if Atlanta wins, that's going to be a whole different story. That's going to throw Vegas down even with New York. It's going to give Atlanta that they're still going to keep that 1-game lead over Phoenix. But then you're going to have, let me see if Phoenix and Atlanta play. Let's see. Phoenix has to play New York on Saturday. Atlanta looks like they have a pretty easy schedule. Well, Atlanta's going to play the Sparks on the 3rd. And then on the 5th, yeah, they don't play each other. So this is a really key game today. Atlanta and the Aces, that could determine second place. If Atlanta gets that win, and then I think the Aces and Phoenix are going to be playing. Let me look at that. Yeah, the Aces play Atlanta, then Minnesota. But they're going to be on a break. They have a break from today to Thursday. They play the Minnesota on the 4th, Thursday. So then after that, they have Chicago twice. Let's see, what else? Yeah, Chicago on the 7th. Then Chicago again on the 9th. And then the last game of the season, they play the Sparks. So the next 2 games for the Aces may determine, if they win those 2 games, they're unlikely losing to Chicago and the Sparks. So these next 2 games are really key for the Aces if they can beat Minnesota and Atlanta. But if they lose to both of them, then you're talking a whole different thing. So, but, everybody's playing everybody. So, I think that, everybody's going to have losses. Everybody's going to be beating everybody else, depending on the matchup. But we'll see. And who knows? Minnesota may lose a couple games here. They don't have to. I mean, they have it clinched. When they reach that point where they've clinched the number 1 seed, who knows? So, anyway, good game between these two. The Sparks just need to play team defense down the stretch. And maybe they'll get in. But, Indiana has a really hard schedule coming up. And so it could be them. Just based on Seattle's schedule, and they have the least amount of games to play, they'll probably still sneak in. But the Sparks and Indiana have a really tough go. And the Valkyries, they finish with New York and 2 Minnesota games. But by then, Minnesota might be sitting people. So, who knows? Who knows? Okay, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.